Hi, this is We Told You So, episode 86. Donald Trump is holding up wildfire aid in Los Angeles because he wants there to be statewide voter ID laws. He says it's so everyone has a chance to vote. We've known from the past several cycles, as well as his blatant admissions, he doesn't give a shit about people voting. This is him blatantly trying to extort a state in order for them to receive aid for people dying in fires. Exactly as I stated would happen, Trump's executive orders hit, and the people that were affected right off the bat were people who work in government and federal positions, the people in the construction industry who get their supplies possibly from overseas, and the agriculture industry, of which 75% of the workers are migrants. He rolled back anti-discrimination laws for the government employees, and his administration is currently trying to interview and weed out people from the government who are not strict Trump loyalists. You know, willing to break laws and look the other way. And while in the construction industry it's causing prices to go up, just like I said, it's doing the same thing in the agriculture industry. But you know what else it's doing that I said was going to happen? Causing food shortages. Again, MAGA, you didn't think this one through. You voted for a guy who wants to deport millions of people who actually work in this country for your food, and when he gets rid of them, your food costs more. And there's less of it. That's why instead of getting those cheaper eggs you all complained about, the cost of eggs went up by more than a third. You guys really aren't that bright. States that have abortion bans are starting to hide their maternal mortality rates. Most notably recently, Georgia. Georgia Department of Public Health is disbanding a board that tracks critical maternal mortality health data. This comes after confidential information was leaked to ProPublica, which recently reported on 2 deaths linked to Georgia's abortion restrictions. Because of course, the Republicans in this country don't want people to know that if you take away abortion, it actually causes millions of women to die. So they'll just hide those numbers like they did when COVID was ravaging the country and Trump was doing nothing about it. And in a recent hilarious development, a Mississippi Democratic state lawmaker introduced a Contraception Begins at Erection Act, with a fine for anyone who cranks one off without the intent of fertilization. I find this to be hilarious and genius. He said all across the country, especially here in Mississippi, the vast majority of bills relating to contraception or abortion focus on the woman's role when men are 50% of the equation. So why don't we make men do their part? I'm sure he knows it'll go absolutely nowhere, but the whole point is pointing out the hypocrisy, which he did well. And lastly, everybody's talking about this. The fact that a Republican representative has proposed a third-term constitutional amendment for Donald Trump. A whole bunch of lying and ass-kissing saying Trump's decisive leadership stands in stark contrast to the chaos, suffering, and economic decline that we've endured for 4 years. See earlier comment on best economy in the G7. He said Trump is trying to reverse our nation's decay and he needs the time to accomplish that goal. Pump the brakes there, Spartacus. First of all, I very highly doubt Donald Trump will still be with us in 4 years. Not only is Donald Trump suffering from genetic dementia and cognitive decline, but his arteries are already harder than he gets at a teen beauty pageant. He's not going to be here long enough for that third term. But also, this would require a constitutional amendment, which would require a constitutional convention, which the Republicans have been wanting for years, so that they can rewrite the Constitution any way they want. There are no guidelines. They could literally rewrite the Constitution to say that citizens who have rights in this country are only straight white Christian men. They could literally write the Constitution to say that slavery is okay. They could do anything they want. That's why they want that constitutional convention. But it requires 2/3 of the state legislatures, which they still don't have. This whole thing right here is just a distraction from the other horrible things that Donald Trump is doing. Because remember, throughout Donald Trump's entire life, everything is smoke and mirrors. Somebody compared it to a WWE event. It's all flashy and loud with him saying a bunch of crazy stuff, but at the end of the day, he always self-sabotages himself, and he never delivers on what he says he's going to do. The man is just an inept old narcissist. He says shit like this to upset people on the left, and to distract from all of the horrible things he's doing. He's all about distraction. So remember, whenever Trump says something really crazy, which I know is like every day, but it's because he once again just wants to change the news cycle and deflect away from what he's doing. This has been We Told You So. While the fucking around continues, the finding out has just begun.